So I found this Instagram account, right? It's called the Raw Meat Experiment. So this guy literally has been eating raw meat for 157 days so far. His tag in his description is eating raw meat at Whole Foods every day until I die from bacteria, seeing if I live for 5 days or 500 years. So this dude is like legit sitting outside of Whole Foods every single day, eating raw chicken, raw fish, raw beef, raw liver, raw everything, raw eggs, raw milk. It's nuts. And like it's to the point where he'll go and like the workers know him now, and like people will videotape him and stuff. But somehow he's still alive. So
we're pretty much watching this guy kill himself. That's what it's come to.
Hey, that's according to him. He's feeling great. So let's check this out. But yeah, like we were talking. It's like we were told you're not even supposed to eat undercooked chicken. Like even if it's undercooked a little bit, you could get salmonella or whatever.
Bro, even my burgers, everything has to be well done, bro.
For real.
Well, not even well done, but like at least mostly medium.
Done enough.
That's wild, bro.
And the craziest part of all of this is this guy says he's feeling great. He's saying he's feeling better than he's ever had. He's saying that he used to have some type of like depression and some health-related issues. And since doing the raw meat, he has cleared up entirely. And just to kind of be accurate here, he says he's eating raw meat at Whole Foods. So every single meal, or at least every single day, is raw meat, but he's also eating raw vegetables occasionally, raw fruits occasionally, raw milk, raw eggs, things like that. But no processed foods, just legit raw meat, no cooking.
Does he say how many times a day he eats these meals? Is he eating 3 meals a day with all this meat, or?
I'm not sure. It looks like it's during the day or maybe mid-afternoon, so it's either for lunch or dinner, which is regardless, eating raw
Oh,
meat.
look at it's dripping blood, bro.
Yeah.
It's dripping blood, dude. Oh, hell no. That's nasty.
Yeah.
That's like some caveman shit, bro. Like back in the day, you feel me? That's what we had to do as cavemen. And damn, just to imagine him doing it. That's yuck. That's yucky.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It makes me question the people he has in his life, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think my mom or my homies I hope would stop me from trying to do something like this.
Yeah.
But to your point, you said he feels greater than ever.
Well, and that brings up the whole conversation of people like Jordan Peterson, who had all of these autoimmune diseases, and so did his daughter, had all these autoimmune diseases. They tried to find ways to cure it. They went on a carnivore diet, so not raw meat specifically, but carnivore. And they say all of their autoimmune diseases cleared up, which autoimmune diseases, I don't know the whole entire,
Spectrum of it.
Exactly, but they're pretty freaking bad and they're really hard to cure. And they said it all went away. And that's the same claim with a lot of people who try the carnivore diet. And the whole thinking behind it is that meat, although today people are so against meat for some reason, but meat
because of the animals, and they think the animals have animals have feelings. So.
Yeah, and all this stuff, right? But like at the heart of it all, funny because heart and liver and everything, but they have the most minerals and vitamins out of any food in the food category, right? And I was reading this crazy thing from a similar account that said 1 egg from Walmart is healthier and has more nutrients than any plant food you can find, which is insane because there's this whole thing recently of vegan and vegetarian where it's like, oh, like we're not supposed to eat meat and all this stuff. But in reality, it turns out like you need meat.
So most of the vegans, why do they not eat meat?
I think the biggest part of the people I know that are vegan is because like, oh, animals, it's not necessarily like, oh, I want to be healthy.
Yeah.
It's more like, I don't want to hurt these animals.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But like in reality, we evolved hunting animals. And the way I've seen it described on this guy's account and other accounts that are similar, which was very interesting, I thought at least, is that berries and vegetables were survival foods. Mm-hmm. That's what not the cavemen, but the hunters and gatherers would eat as a last resort if they didn't kill anything, right? So if they went out hunting and they didn't come back with some type of kill or some type of deer or elk or whatever it was, they would eat the berries and vegetables as a last resort, which I thought was very interesting.
Let me ask you this, right? Plants are living things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a vegan and you only eat plant-based foods, how does that, just wondering, like...
Yeah,
like
that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is true. I wonder, we should get a vegan on
Like,
here.
do they wait until the plants like die? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Seriously.
then they eat the plants.
That is true. It's a good point.
I don't know.
We'd
I'm sure we can find out the answer in 2
Yeah,
seconds. But
for real. We'll have to ask
just
a
some
vegan.
random thoughts I have about vegans.
Any vegans out there, let us know.
I recently bought a fucking fly zapper.
Uh-huh.
Because there's some flies at my job. They like come right into the door and they stay in this one little spot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna get a fly zapper. But then I'm thinking, you know, I work for an activewear brand. We're super sustainable. We're super, forward thinking.
Yeah.
So I was like, if we had a vegan come into our shop and they saw me zap a fly, how would they feel about
They'll
that?
freak out. It's against company policy.
No. And we're not like a vegan company,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just thinking, if I was at work and I killed a fly, would that hurt someone's feelings? Because these days, everything hurts everyone's feelings. So
that is interesting, because how like far does the veganism idea go? You know, because like obviously like the meat, that's very obvious. They're like, no way, we can't do that.
Yeah.
But like, does it involve things like
Spiders,
ants, flies, spiders? You know, thing like a deadly snake that is about to attack your dog. Are you just gonna let it attack your dog, or like what? You know what I mean? Like things like that.
Yeah.
Like. Me and my girlfriend live at, we rent a house and it has a hot tub. And
what?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Okay.
So the hot tub in the back, it's a built-in hot tub in the
That's
ground.
dope.
But like when we're not using it, black widows have started to like kind of nest underneath it. So I lifted it up recently and there's some fat black widows rolling around and stuff. So it's like, in that case, as a vegan, what are you going to do? Are you just going to let these black widows take over your hot tub? Or are you going to do some shit about it so you can use your hot tub?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, where does that line cross?
I think we have beef with vegans right now.
We might start a whole controversy.
Get it? Beef. I actually got a good friend that's a vegan. I'm sure he'd be down to be on the show.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Not to continue the beef with vegans, but I saw this super funny quote where it's like a vegan tried to climb Mount Everest, but they ran out of breath telling everyone they were a vegan on the way up.
Hey, that is true, right?
But so one other thing I want to touch on is the whole idea. We kind of talked about it briefly, but there's this whole thing called rabbit starvation, which I saw on this guy's account and some other accounts as well, that I thought was super interesting. And it's the concept that rabbits are such a lean meat that if you had only rabbit to eat, and that was the only thing you had access to, but an unlimited supply, you would still starve to death. Because there's no fat on the rabbit, there's no healthy fats that your body can sustain off of. It's just like such a lean meat, which I thought was super interesting because
that's wild to think, right?
Yeah.
You could eat until you're full.
Yeah, exactly. You could eat until you're full, but you would still die of starvation, which I thought was this crazy concept because the whole idea of, calories and et cetera. It's like, all you need is calories to survive. But it's like, no, actually.
You need some fat.
You need healthy fats.
Yeah.
You need these nutrient-dense things like liver. And after looking at this guy's account and doing a whole bunch of my own research, like I decided to try liver because liver is one of the healthiest things you can eat in terms of every food out there. And I tried it last night. The texture was just like, it was like weird. It was too.
What could you compare it to?
Like meaty styrofoam. It was, but it wasn't chewy. It was almost like not chewy at all. Like, you know how when you eat like a steak, it's got some chew to it?
Yeah.
It was not chewy. It's like I just kind of bit through it almost like tofu. It was
okay.
It was really weird, but then the taste, I would almost compare it to like a spoiled meat taste. Like I've never had spoiled meat, but that's what I imagined it would taste like.
Yeah.
The first bite, I was like, this isn't bad. But then as I was going on, I was like, I just need to get this shit
So
down.
what did your lady think about it? Did she eat it
She tried
too?
it once and did one of those.
Not fucking with it.
Yeah, she spit it out and everything. But like we were talking about it before we even tried it. We're like, you know what? Even if it is the worst thing on the planet in terms of taste, we're still going to try to eat it like once or twice a week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because it is like, it's so healthy. And like, I'm not lying. After I had it, like, cause I had a half a pound all to myself. And after I ate it, I felt super good. Like I felt balanced. I felt like almost like a high. And I was joking around with my girl. I was like, oh, I felt hella good. But like in reality, I did. And I looked it up online and there's actually a whole bunch of people like on Reddit that say after they eat liver, they feel like they took Adderall or they feel like a little bit of a high because what happens is these animals eat all these nutrients and vitamins from the land. Mm-hmm. They digest it. So when you're eating it from like a liver, it's pre-digested. So it's bioavailable. It's like ready to go. So when it hits your body, boom, it's like in your system right away. There's no waiting for the digestion to happen. It's like already there and ready, available, which is super dope to think.
So do you think you could go on a liver diet where you just eat liver for a whole week?
Just liver?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a point where you could eat too much liver, but I'm for sure, like, I'm about to start ordering liver on a regular basis. Like, I'm reintegrating meat into the diet because my girl, like, even like being a personal trainer, you know, you're always taught it's like, oh, like lean meats, lean meats, lean meats, lean meats. But like, I've noticed only eating like turkey and chicken, and like my girl is against red meats because she whatever, and like I haven't had red meats in a long time, and I've felt like a lot more lethargic and slow. But then after like eating red meats now, I feel great. You know, I feel like how I used to when I used to always get some like beef and like cook it up, make tacos and stuff. So it's coming back.
There we go, man. I couldn't even imagine not eating meat, bro.
Yeah.
I dated a girl that just wanted to eat salads for a whole week, and I'm just like, babe, I love you, but I cannot do this. I need a fucking burger.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
For real.
That's just how I am. Have you had the Beyond Meat? Have we talked about that before?
No. That shit
you never had it?
That's like the worst thing you can eat, bro. Like legitimately, it's made in a lab, and it's like, it's so corporations can cut costs and upcharge you for for what they're paying nothing, you know, and it's bad for you. It's like, it's made in the lab.
So you would rather try what this raw meat experiment guy is doing other than eating a Impossible Burger?
100%. If I like, I don't know, I don't know how this guy does it, but I would be a lot more likely to eat raw meat than try like a lifestyle based on like the plant-based meats.
Yeah.
Because
you wouldn't even try it. You wouldn't even just be open to trying it.
I tried one. Like I've tried one before, and it was like, it tasted like meat. And like, I thought like, oh, this is dope. Like, this is way better for me. But like, cause that's the marketing behind it. Yep. But once you look into it, it's not good for you, you know? And like, I'm totally on this carnivore diet situation. I'm all about it. I'm not going to strictly eat carnivore. And that's the thing, right? This guy, although he's eating all these raw meats, he still does eat some vegetables.
Okay.
And there's an interesting thing about vegetables that I learned. There's a thing called lectins in vegetables. And Scotty, who was on our podcast a while back, was talking about this too. And essentially every living thing has some type of self-defense mechanism to try to survive, right? Mm-hmm. Animals have teeth and claws. Plants don't have teeth or claws. So what they do is they have these things that they release when they're trying to be digested that causes the digestion to get fucked up, or causes the digestion to get messed up. So they pass the seeds through your poo, right? So technically a lot of vegetables aren't good for you because it messes up your digestion so they can continue on propagating and surviving. So that's the crazy thing, right? It's
you
like,
grow up, eat your veggies.
Yeah, eat your veggies, eat this. And it's like, now when you really look into it, but again, like I want to say, so people aren't going all crazy.
To each their own,
To each their own, you know, it all depends on how your body is, right? Mm-hmm. But traditionally how we've evolved is like heavily meat-based, right? And according to these people, it seems like they're doing really well off.
Dude, I'm on this 1 meal a day thing right now.
Yeah.
And it's not because... Actually, I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
I'm lazy as fuck when I'm at home. I don't want to wake up and make breakfast in the morning, right? So I usually go out and spend $12 on a breakfast burrito or on a fucking acai bowl or on a fucking smoothie. And I'm like, dude, I need to stop being so reckless. So I'm like, okay, if I'm not going to cook at home, I'm not going to buy shit all day. Yeah. And then at lunch, I might get something. Yeah. And then I'm like, all right, well, you're fucked for the whole day. You better eat half. And then eat half at home. Yeah. And one, I've been saving a ton of money. Yeah. But then two, it's like, I'm kind of feeling better, bro. Like, I'm not just eating unnecessarily. Like, I feel like I just had all this, like, reckless amount of meals throughout the day. Like, I'll eat 4 times a day or some shit like that. And now it's like 1 time a day. I'll eat at, like, 6 or 7. Yep. Or maybe 4 or 5. And that'll get me through the whole day, and I feel great.
Yeah, well, and that's what kind of like the way that I do it too, indirectly, right? Like not on purpose, but it is better for you. It is better for you. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, if you eat 3 meals a day and you're snacking in between, your body is always digesting something. Mm-hmm. And digestion is a very taxing, it's called a stressor on the body, right? So it's adding stress to your body and it's causing your body to divert energy to digestion. So you're not having all of the, you're not having all this energy readily available for working out or thinking creatively and all this stuff. So it is kind of slowing you down.
Mm-hmm.
It puts you in a state of ketosis a lot quicker too. And it causes your body to create ketones, which your brain can actually use and your body can use as like fuel. And it's also an anti-aging thing. So like the whole idea of fasting, that's kind of essentially what you're doing indirectly.
Yeah.
Is fasting.
But everyone always goes, "You're intermittent fasting." I'm like,
yeah,
if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah,
yep,
sure.
That's
yeah.
what I'm doing. Yeah.
That's dope.